time we have a live stream, Robert probably don't put a magnet next to the GPS.
Gets us to where we are today. I'm super grateful. Even after that,
a little dot of blue in there.
But I am extremely grateful for our Patreon supporters too, because you guys keep us going. Whether it's a successful flight, which was the last flight I had of this, or a crash, you mean the world to us. From the bottom of our hearts, we say thank you to our family, to our channel, to each and every one of you that have decided to support us financially. We really do. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this airplane video and you'd like to see more of what this is capable of, and not just commenting into the ground, we'll have.
I'm just gonna let it sit there with the second magnet on it,
this plane popping up
and I'm
right
gonna
about
push
now.
down.
See that.
See if I can. Oh, I did make an impression. Good.
Yes. We'll put the hat on so I don't feel naked. First, salute and welcome to Patricia's Brothers RC Finds. Like I said, this is the channel. What can we do? We will try to test as many different planes as possible. Whatever plane we can get our hands on, we don't edit nothing from the day one. And of course, what this is the channel, but you can all feel at home. If you have nowhere else to go, well, come here and have fun with us. Because in fact, this hobby is the best hobby in the world that will give you the biggest fun. And that's it, eh? Good enough? Yes. Today we invite you to join us here to unbox another beautiful bird aid from the E-Flight Horizon hobby. The sexy, amazing, iconic, I think that this is iconic plane, the UAMX Timber X. Yes. This is done by the man because in fact, the Timber X, the E-Flight Timber X, is the most super plane from this collection. And of course, it was obvious that they must do this in the UAMX version. Which in fact, I don't know. To who I can recommend this?
Now we can put a piece of tape over that.
The Spectrum Plus. Yes. Because it is in the bind and fly version, so you will have to bind it with something. And maybe with the OpenTX Plus.
Oh, it's to be longer than that.
OpenTX can bind to Spectrum products. Yes. 570 millimeters wingspan, because don't be fooled, we have checked here. It says here the length 470 millimeter, which of course is correct, but this is not correct. This is misprint. It should be 570 millimeters wingspan of pure fun. And I will just tell you real quick, you ask and E-Flight delivers. The UAMX Timber X is a scaled down ultra micro version of the extremely popular Timber X 1.2 meter, and it is one of the most requested models in the E-Flight history. Good enough of the history. The point is that this will run on free cell, and I can really see this. It doesn't. You also have the UAMX Timber, the first one with the flaps and everything, but this one has.
Looks like it goes right in there.
To the whole wing, but it also
So
has
we're going to just.
that means that this plane
Yeah,
will be able
goes down.
try to do some first stunts with the plane that is not too expensive. Of course, you won't learn to do stunts and I don't know what on $1,000 plane. Better to do it with this, and that's it. And maybe we can even recommend this to some beginner pilots because it does have the option for the safe
We've done a test fit first.
Now, since this plane is in the beautiful box, but like I have said, this box to me, don't give for a gift as socks. Give something like this because I can see also this as a perfect birthday gift. Now, which pilot in the world wouldn't love to get a plane like this for a birthday? Yes. If you give me something like this, it's the same thing as you would give a woman a
Nice.
sexy box.
Listen to that.
Sexy boxes are small and sexy.
Nice.
Good enough. And we can decide, since this plane is so small, you will see that it is all assembled. We will use this time
This
to
one's
make
going
a
to get
video.
bigger.
We will also try to bind it and set it on the radio, on the unboxing video, and we will be fast. That's it. Enough of talking, Captain Bosch. Let's see this baby for the first time in all its sexiness. Beautiful and sexy paint job, the stickers. Oh, I just love this. Yeah.
go in. That's weird. Oh, shit. Come on, go in the right way. Okay, so they're not lined up perfectly, but oops. Do this very carefully.
This is it, eh? Of course, this is already set for you. The save select is already set for you, and you put it now in the zero
Save
position.
select.
All I have now is the save select, and I will put over 30% of throttle. This is not now the save, but this is the ASP assist for the smooth flying. If I put it like this, it doesn't want to auto-correct the plane, but if I put the save on again, you see? It wants to fill the plane back. This is why this plane is so sexy for the beginner pilot. Of course, let's also check everything else. Now I don't have the double rates yet. I will set them later, but left, right, up, down, left, right, and that's it. Now you see, in save select, when you have the plane in save select like this, this is important. Don't trim nothing. Because if you look at the rudder, Captain, now check the rudder. Do you see? Do you see what they have done? You have a the right rudder, but you know why? Why? Because of the torque effect on the takeoff. The save select is done in such a good way to take off. They compensate that torque to the left with the rudder to the right and the elevator. If you just put the throttle, the plane will just go up, and that's it. And that is why I salute the save select. It should be on any plane, even if you don't need it, but just put it there in case. Now let's just check quickly, because if we have flaps or not, if
I'll
we
stick to
don't have
INAV,
flaps,
thank
I'll show
you.
quickly how you
Robert.
engage your flaps. They are already set.
Oh my god, this blade is not sharp.
And they're on this stick.
It's not sharp enough.
Yeah. But they're already working, and you see them. You see? The down elevator, which you will even see more if I switch off. Now I have switched off the ASPX, and now, you see? Yeah. And even if we have the flaps on, look, even with the flaps, you still have the ailerons working, and that's
I'm just gonna force it in there.
to switch yourself off the flaps. I will show you quickly. It's an easy way. Look, it is done in this way. You put the throttle down to the left corner and the right stick all the way up to the right corner, and switch the gear knob for 5 times, and it will disable the flaps. They will not work anymore. Or even if you want disable yourself, the save select, you do it the same, but on this switch, toggle 5 times, but put it in this position. Do you see?
Okay, the hatches are done. They have magnets, and they will stay shut, especially that one. Okay, next is control surfaces. For that, we have to plug in the battery and make sure everything's centered. Hey, this is AC from Dank RC, and we are doing the final assembly, finally doing the final assembly of the modded FT Flerken. And I finally got it mostly finished. I did a lot of these things off stream, and I have a recording of them and things like that, but maybe for another day. So I thought today we would do the final checks on the stream, go over the plane. Why I have the glue gun sitting here, I don't know. I don't think we're gluing anything yet today. Everything is glued. So the actual final piece to put on is this here rear motor hatch or cover. And we're going to not really make it a hatch, but it could be easily be made into a hatch if a little bit more thought was taken into it. But I've cut a hole in the top of it to give the ESC some airflow. And I've hot glued it to the bottom, not where the heatsink is, but on this heat shrink up here. So we'll see if that stays or not. So the purpose of this modded Flerken is, of course, the modified design. Instead of a hatch or a giant nose piece coming off here that would come off starting at this line, this whole piece would come off even down underneath. We have, this is a permanent structure now, and we just have, oh, focus, there we go. It's a permanent structure, and we've put in some hatches. So that's the whole point of this whole build. And I did had a lot of kind of failures along the way. Made some mistakes, critical mistakes at the very end. I forgot to glue in the battery strap, and I also had a battery sitting in here before I had to fix the hatch magnets, and the battery fell out and cracked the corner. Brand new battery, Tattoo 2300 4S, and it's toast. It's toasted. So there, toasted a $40. I ordered another one to replace it. I only have 2 batteries that fit this plane. Now I only have 1. And I'm a little bit, I was thinking of advertising this on the Facebook group and seeing if people are interested in watching me folly around with this plane, but I decided never to do that during this whole series. So anyway, so it's basically done. The hatches are in. The control surfaces are finished. The only last thing to do is to tape this cover on. And we're going to wait until we check everything out. So we're going to, I believe the battery's finished charging. So just hold on. We're going to walk over here and get the battery off the charger. It took a few more minutes than I thought it would. Let's check that's done. Stop. So my one remaining battery, let's not drop it or break it. my one remaining battery for this plane. The reason that we have this particular battery is because it's what fits in here. And there's a certain way we're going to make it fit. So that is also something to consider. And I'm going to put on a big tab, and that has to be put on before I put the Velcro. So let's switch to this camera and I can show you what I'm planning on doing, and we'll see how many times it takes me to get it right. So we're going to take a long piece of this tape. We're going to start it like that. We're going to put it on the bottom. And we're going to go this way. Going to fold it over on itself like so. And so the purpose of that is just like the hatch doors that I do over here. Oh, focus webcam, there we go. One of these days I'm going to get a better webcam. I have a little clear tape tab here too. So then I can put Velcro on the bottom of this. And then we can stick this in here and stick it down. And then I'm hoping that I'll be able to pull it out easily. So we need to put a piece of Velcro on. I should have brought that. There we go. We have lots of Velcro here. Lots of Velcro. This is just for posterity, so it doesn't. I mean, this is just for this little tab to keep the battery from floating around. It's not going to save it in a crash. I forgot to put the battery strap on. And that's what keeps the battery in place, the battery strap. We are just going to put a little, basically square of, here, I'll put it back to this camera, a square of Velcro on here, like so. Okay, so we're basically here now in final check phase of this Flerken. The Flerken has iNav 5.1 on it. We will verify that when we hook it up to the professor in a few minutes here. Let's put this stuff over here. And there's no reason I have it sitting on this thing here, but the only reason is it just kind of elevates it, keeps it from getting glue balls smushed into it to dent it up. Now, again, let's do a quick overview of what this is. So this is a flight test Flerken, and again, I modified it to have these two hatches. When you think about it, it really has three hatches because the rear, this is really a hatch too, if you did it right. I didn't want this big front piece coming off, and I also didn't want the front. I'll just do a quick overview of this because I've done it before 100 times, but let's go to this camera. So basically, well, this isn't even the right piece. This was my first attempted modification where I was going to include the doubler in the top piece, but then I decided to do it. So this is what is in this Flerken instead of a piece sort of like this. The flight test design has a piece that cuts off right there. And this is part of another piece. But I've gone over this 100 times on these live streams, so I mean, that's all I'm going to say about that. So that's how we did the hatch thing. We separated the top and the bottom instead of gluing it as one piece up here. And I've also made some critical mistakes in this build. You might be able to see it, this wing here. It is, the cord, or the, not the cord, the thickness of the wing, what is that called? I can't think right now. It's too thick because the spar didn't get glued down properly. So this wing here is mismanufactured. I did it a little bit wrong on this wing too, but only off by like a millimeter. This one's off by like 4 millimeters. So this plane is my first try at building this particular design that I designed. Modification of Bixler's design that I built. I shouldn't call it I designed. I didn't design anything. Anyway. So, overview. I'm losing my train of thought. So so we finished everything, basically. And so it's a Flerken with 2 hatches, and the flight controller is in the... I am so bad at doing this. The flight controller is here, and I had a lot of follies with the flight controller. The idea behind this camera was, or behind this plane was, one of the things is it has a 3-camera switcher that's still inside here. It's in this cavity in here, but I couldn't get it to work because I can't get the servo pass-through to work on the flight controller. But anyway, so this that's here, neither here nor there. We did that on another live stream, talked about that. So what we have here is the Racer Star F405 Nano Wing Nano or whatever flight controller. It has an SD card slot for black box. It has 8 servo outputs. No camera switcher, but 8 servo outputs. Wow, did I not glue that one? This magnet is not staying in. I just pushed it in a little bit. Right there. Anyway, okay, so that's the flight controller. Under here is the GPS. It is from Ready Made RC, just the regular mini 220 GPS that sits right in there. Here's the cable for it. Back here for power, we have the Skywalker 50 amp, Hobby Wing Skywalker 50 amp ESC. I believe I've set the brake. Let's see, what else do we have? And the motor is a Sunny Sky 2216 1250 kV. The prop is an APC 9x6 prop. So that's the power system. The firmware on the flight controller, as I said, is iNav 5.1, which is the latest firmware. This thing also has iNav radar, so built into this cavity is an iNav radar, an ESP32 radar, I guess is what it's called now, at 433 megahertz. I haven't verified that even worked before I buried it into the system, into the fuselage here. But if I needed to get in there, I could always create a hatch here. That's another thing about this design, is that this whole thing was designed as a non-structural piece, and I have made it mostly a kind of a structural piece, or semi-structural at least. And so I do have the ability to cut holes in here, just as I did on this side. This side has the Runcam Thumb 3D printed mount that's on my Thingiverse. So I've made several. Okay, so let's see what else. Let's go over that rest of the hardware. Buried, focus. Buried in the wing are my typical what I use for these builds is Emax ES08 MA2 or whatever they're called. They are metal geared. I believe these are analog. I wanted them to be analog because of the 433 megahertz radio. Okay, what else? These are like just Dubro. I'll show you what they are. Not Dubro, they're Great Plains. I got these at an estate sale. So I cut those off, and the other part, there's a close-up of those. And they do come with fuel line, but just like I dropped the batteries, I dropped the little bits of fuel line, and I can't find them. So I did have my own, and I added them here. So I did have to enlarge the hole here for larger than what's in the flight test design. Okay, what else did I not cover? So, FPV system. The FPV system, again, was going to have 3 cameras with a camera switcher back in this cavity here. The camera switcher is still in there. I have pictures of all these things, but not right at the moment displayable. So let's go to the bottom so we can just quickly see that what we had. This is going to be one of the 3 cameras here. This is the FPV antenna. So it has on this side, it's just down facing, and it's mostly inside the fuselage, which I like. Actually, I have to put a little bit of glue on that. So I am going to heat up the glue gun. We do have a little bit more glue to finalize this. So the FPV system, I tried to keep all the camera stuff focused on this side. So in the front is the RunCam Eagle 2 Pro full-size camera, believe it or not. I still have several of those. The cabling goes all the way here, and it originally went to the 3 camera switcher underneath this hatch here. And I had 2 Caddx ants, one rear facing that went on this little spot that you can see has a patch in there. I had a 3D printed mount to face it backwards. And then one underneath where I showed you that hole. So, inside is a, what is it? It's a Rush Tank Ultimate. That's what it is. And it has an MMCX connector, and I made a 3D printed mount. It actually looks like this. This is another one. And so the SMA connector pokes into the center structural piece through the bottom. And that's how the camera is attached to it. So it's a very sturdy attachment. So that's the FPV system. We have a Rush Ultimate 2 tank. I don't know what it's called. That thing. What did I just say? That guy. That's what is in this plane. Ultimate 2. Should be a nice one. And the camera, again, is the RunCam Eagle 2 Pro, full size. The antenna is a Foxeer Lollipop, version 3, I think. Also, there is some lighting that I spent way too much time on. There's lights here, marker lights here. There are front lights here, buried in the front. There is a giant ring light, which I'm not sure that works, here. I may have wired it backwards, I'm not sure. we may have to take that out and fix it. And at the wingtips, there are wingtip lights. Those do work. And a little 3D, very crude, primitive 3D printed little piece there to hold it on. So we made several 3D printed parts. We made the 3D printed motor mount there. That's on my Thingiverse. There's a 3D printed flight controller, stack holder, and a 3D printed VTX and the light things, and this front part here that holds the RunCam Eagle 2 Pro. That is also a 3D printed part that's attached inside there. All those are on my Thingiverse, and the thumb. Okay, so now it's time to do the final checks. That's basically the overview. Since no one's watching, no one has any questions. How about that? So what we are going to do now is get the professor out. Over here. Hiding at my desk. And we need to plug our cables into it so we can show it on our stream. This is like watching grass grow. I said that before. Caroline Tyler RC verified it. And I'm not offended. It is true. Okay. I did not advertise this on Facebook. I'm not ready to do that yet. One of these days. I'm not ready for if people watch it and the inevitable criticism of I'm not afraid of the criticism, but I don't know. I just don't feel like answering a bunch of questions about why am I make so many mistakes. Make too many mistakes. Okay. I did make a lot of mistakes with this build. Okay, so what we are going to do is go to our iNav window and we can switch to the laptop. We need a cable though. So one of the features of the, let me see if I can get that in there. One of the features of this flight controller is that it has, why can't I figure out the center? It has this USB-C thing. In fact, I think I'm going to Velcro it to that or something. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't want it grounding out on things that it shouldn't ground out on. Like there's a power cable there and stuff. Okay, anyway, USB-C. Has a boot button right there, conveniently located. One thing I will add that I forgot to add is a buzzer. And I don't think it'll be that hard because the buzzer just goes just connects to the flight controller there at right near the S-bus connector, right next to the LED light, so that should be fine. Okay, so let's keep it on here and switch back to iNav and plug in the computer, the professor. And we have our connect button. So one of the first things we want to verify is we want to plug in the battery, turn on the receiver. We need to have our receiver on.
Welcome to OpenTX. Switch warning. Manual mode.
I want it in manual mode for now. I want everything to be centered, and then we're going to set the reflex and check that. So the way I think we're going to have to do this is we have to plug it in. Oh, don't smash the... Oh dear. Yeah, the reflex is not set right on that. Okay, so now let's get it shoved in there. Just like that. So that fits in nicely. Let's check our control surfaces. Oh, we need to set the reflex. So let's get our... So here's another mistake I made. I might as well point it out. Let's get this not smashed against there. Here, focus, focus. Here, these things should be pointing away from here because I don't have enough room to get my tool in there, I don't think. Let's try, see? It's too long. So you need to have a different kind of Allen key with you now. Because I put the control horn things, I set them up wrong. The last minute, I did it backwards. So what we need to do is loosen this and get this reflex, which you can't see because it's behind. Oh, and I'm going to change my glasses because I can't see either. Can't see close up with those glasses. So they're centered. This needs to be loosened so that it will travel along here. Come on. There we go. And we want it to be the bottom of the foam lines up with the fuselage. So basically 5 millimeters of reflex. Going to, oh, it's moved. I'm going to come over here, turn it this way a little. We're trying to get 5 millimeters of reflex there. Come on. Okay. Right there. See, it would be so much better if it was on the other side. Now I have to fiddle with this tool, this little hex key, instead of just turning one nice driver-like tool. So now that I've got it set, I gotta make sure it's nice and tight. Don't want it coming loose. And we will look at the other one too. This one here, which seems to be in a lot further. And that one one's very tight. So let's get this one more tight. Let's see if we can get it a little bit more tight. Okay. Okay. So now this has to go in my toolbox for sure if it goes to the field with me. So I don't have any other Allen hex wrenches like that. Okay, now why is it so far off? Look at it's perfectly level. What's wrong with this picture now? Did we do the calibration? I swear we did. Okay, we're going to lie it flat on the table. Then we're going to go back to setup. Oh dear. Reset. Let's disconnect. Let's see how this battery comes out. We'll check this out too. So now we're going to check the battery. I like that. For not having a strap and breaking a $40 battery. Let's disconnect. Let's reset this thing. Let's see if it's really off by that much. Because it wasn't before.
Telemetry lost.
Okay.
Telemetry recovered.
Okay. Battery fits in nicely. That looks straighter now. That looks better. Does it drift that much? This flight controller may not be so great. It may be a huge mistake and I may need to yank it out of there. Which would be sick. Which means basically I'd have to tear the plane apart. Okay. So let's look at the flight control surfaces. From the rear, we are in manual mode. We're going to check all the modes too. Oh, this one. This side needs to come up some. Boy, I'm so sorry at this point. This is when you're sorry that you made a mistake like that. Because now I got to get this crappy little tool out. Look at it again. It needs to come up by 1 millimeter. Now it's moving on its own. Ah. Okay, let's get this exactly right. I mean, we may have to mechanically trim it later to a certain degree, but let's at least start with it lined up evenly, right? Sorry that. Let's check it again. Oh, it looks good. All right. left, up, right, up, down. That's full travel. Now let's put it into a horizon mode. So left, yep, up, up. Okay, everything's moving in the right direction that way. Now, are we already off on our level? Let's check that out. Let's look at the laptop here. You can see what I'm looking at. Hey, Robert. How are you? Look at it. Look, Robert, look. It's a plane. It's a plane. It's a whole plane. It's doing all the things. The last thing we have to do is tape this on. That's where we are. We're just doing all the final checks. So right now, the next thing, I was going to check the prop direction, and we have to be very careful about that because the prop is on. Double checking the prop direction. So we're going to put this basically pointed out that way. I think I screwed up the ring lights, Robert. Just like you said, I should have verified them better than before. Maybe you're not still here, I'm not sure. Anyway, I can't see that screen right now, sorry. Okay, we're going to outputs. We are going to do something very dangerous. Don't do this at home. Let's put this back over that way. Okay, we are going to check the prop direction. And what we wanted to do is blow that way, not that way. So I'm going to, hold the plane. I guess I should do it this way. I'm going to hold the plane. Master. So remove all propellers. That's what it says over here. Remove all propellers. Propeller is on. So we're going to click on this, and then we're going to use the arrow buttons. And we're going to see when it starts turning. Should be about 5%. And I can't change screens right now, sorry. So we're just going to hold this. We're at 6%. It's going to start any second now if it's calibrated. I thought I calibrated this. 9%. Maybe I didn't. We'll see. I think it might need to be calibrated. Oh, I don't have the battery in. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, 12%, and we're not going. Uh-oh. But I know the motor's connected because I saw it move. Come on. 18%. Come on, are you serious? I must not have calibrated this thing. There we go. And it's blowing the wrong way. Yeah. Okay. So one, it needs to be calibrated, so we need to take the prop off. And two, the brake set though, right? Yes, the brake is set. Oh. Okay, so next we need to reverse the motors. Let's unplug the battery so I don't kill myself. Okay, unplug the battery. Robert, you missed it when I bashed in a $40. It's actually $40 by the time you get it shipped to my house. A $40 battery I broke on the last live stream. Aren't you happy you missed that? Okay, we're going to reverse 2 of these wires. I swear I did this already, but nope. Must have done it wrong. That goes there. That goes there. Now we will try it again. Verify that we have our correct motor orientation. So basically I have to specially prepare the battery now. I forgot to put in a battery strap. So we have a little bit of Velcro to just keep it from moving around because it's not going to stay in a crash anyway. And we have a little tab here to pull it up. We have some weights in the front. 2 1-ounce weights for CG. Receiver is on. Then we have to take the battery and kind of shove it in there. Just a wee little bit. And it fits in very nicely. And then the XT60 goes down there. Like that. Hatch shuts. It's a beauty. Okay, let's try. The ESC wires are away from the propeller. We will now start moving. We got to go up to 20%. Then we'll take the prop off and do the ESC calibration. Up to about 25, I think it was. There we go. All right. 24%. Okay, so now let's calibrate the ESC. Take the prop off, take the battery out. Because, oh, I almost burned my foot on the glue gun. Brilliant. So the battery comes out pretty easy. Oh, we got to check CG too after we glue this thing on. Okay, battery's disconnected. Take the prop off. We will calibrate the ESC. Don't lose that. I'll see what you've said here. What does it say? Yeah. Now that's funny. You laughing at me in the battery? Yeah, I know. It's really... Here's what I did. I forgot to put the strap in first. Then, which you have to do before you glue the bottom on, of course, because you're got to feed it through. And I had 3D printed part, reinforcement to put on the bottom, one on the top. Didn't glue those in. Got ahead of myself. Glued the bottom on. Then I was testing things out, and I had stuck the battery in there. And then I turned the plane over upside down. The battery flew out because I hadn't done the magnets yet. Down to the floor, hard floor, corner. Bashed it on the corner of the battery and shorted out a cell. It's a crazy, and 40, and I just said right on the stream, I was like, there goes 35. Well, I said 28 bucks on the stream. I think I thought it was 28 bucks. Anyway, okay. We are almost done. ESC calibration. So here we go. We have turned on the props. We're connected. So what we're going to do, or taking off the props, disconnected the battery. We are going to, I will show on the screen. Let's get this mouse over here so I can switch. So we're going to go to the master and pump it all the way up to 100%. Then we're going to get the battery cable out. We're going to plug it in like so. And once you hear the tones, then we're going to drop it down to 0. That's it. Now we're going to unplug it, and we're going to test it out again and see where we are with the motor.
Inactivity alarm.
Okay, sorry, Amber. Now, let's hope it starts at something lower than 20%. So click on that, and there is no prop on.
Inactivity alarm.
There are no nuts on it. It should start around 4 or 5%. There we go, 5%. Beauty. Let's see if the brake is on. Brake is on. Excellent. Okay. Okay. I am so excited. Now I'm going to turn into a little boy again. So, we are ready. We have verified the prop's direction. We have calibrated the ESC. We have checked the servo directions. We need to check the CG. We need to put everything together and check the CG. So that's the next thing we're going to do. And I have done, of course, checked the CG already to verify that I'm in the right ballpark. That's why I have 2 ounces of weight up in front. Disconnect. Let's get all this stuff out. We can put it all back together. Now, I don't know what to do about this cable. I think I should have it Velcroed to the lid. So, slight distraction. We're going to put this little bit of Velcro, this little tiny bit of Velcro, right up here, right on the lid. Then I can just put another little piece of Velcro Did you make a 2-cell out? No, I made a 3-cell out of a 4-cell. And I was thinking of, this is the time where I need to think about getting a little, trying one of those cheap Chinese spot welder things from AliExpress. And maybe, I have such a pile of batteries that have just one bad cell. I know I shouldn't have a pile of them. Okay, I'm trying to get the Velcro off of here without my glasses on. That's really stupid. Without the right glasses on. Okay, so let's put this little bit of Velcro right there. And then all we have to do is kind of curl this around and stick it to that. That way it's not going to get shorted out on anything. Beauty. Beauty, beauty. Okay. So now the last step is taping this in. And I'm going to keep these other glasses on. Let's see. I always put a foam block sponge in front of my batteries. Well, that is very smart. And the only thing I've done, and I should show you since we're talking about it. Here, let's do this. I can't find anything. 11 switch. So there's the back of the camera. Let's get a better pointer. There's the back of the camera. I think you can see it. Maybe not. No. And then 2 wheel weights that are 1 ounce, 28 grams here. So we've put 58 grams or 56 grams up in front here. And then I've got this piece of foam board glued in. That's my sponge. That's my foam block sponge. Not very well. And there is 3D printed pieces here to stop the weight from smashing into the camera, at least initially. But, you know, I don't know what to say. I have screwed up so many things on this plane and made so many mistakes. But there, just for this goddamn hatch. Just to get a hatch. And this other hatch. And that hatch too. And so that's all we did. So there, you can see what I just did there. That's the Velcro for the thing. And just stick that there. Okay, we are ready. We're going to tape on this back part. So all we're going to do is tape it on. In fact, we're going to not even put heat shrink on these things. I'm just going to tape one of these over. The one that's in the middle, so they don't short out on each other. I'm going to do another one. Might as well do all three now, huh? I should have put heat shrink on these two, but now I'm afraid of melting the plane. It'll take me half an hour to set up the right, protect it from getting melted. So we're just going to do this. Put some clear plastic Scotch tape there. Okay, now that's how also we're doing this. Scooch this up here, get it in the camera view. We are just going to kind of fit this in and get everything down there, and then all we're doing is Scotch taping it on. So all I have to do is get the tape off if I need to get in here. And it looks very clean, I think. It would be especially clean if I had pre-measured pieces of tape to go on the sides here. But we'll just do it patchwork-wise. Now finish taping it. The longer piece of tape. Oh, that's not long enough. There it is. Ta-da! It is finished. It's not quite perfect. There's a little bit of a bulge over here, but that's okay. There's so many bigger problems with this plane than that little. Oh, it's a little off center. And I could fix it because it's just tape. I could cut it off and put it back if I really cared. But there we go. There's the rear hatch or cover. The final piece. Everything is taped over underneath. All the control surfaces are protected, I believe. I just have some stringy glue things. So let's weigh it. And let's check the CG. Let's check the CG first. So let's put the battery in. Again, do we have, let's turn the radio on.
Welcome to OpenTX. Switch warning.
I need to fix that. I need to transfer my radio. That radio needs to be retired. Okay. Now, let's get this in right. Suddenly I can't figure out how to do it. Smush it in there. There we go. Okay, CG. Let's go to this camera. There are two nubs underneath here where the CG is supposed to be, and I know that it's pretty close. It's a little hard for me to get it exactly on there. But whoa, it's pretty close. Oh, the prop's not on. Put the prop on. Numbers toward the front. This is a APC 9x6. Oh, and the little thing came off. Let's get it lined up, starting with the silk screen there, or whatever that is. And if I have some vibration, I can turn it. I gotta learn how to do that like Andrew Newton does. I don't know how to do anything. Like I'm gonna. Oh, that's the other thing I got to do is set up auto tune mode. Since I don't have, I was gonna do that with the camera switcher thing anyway, but. So I think I may have screwed up. Whoa, the ring light because it's not doing anything. But the other lights are all working. What questions do we have? That's a large job, and without a sentimental value, I wouldn't find it worth it. But that being said, it is doable. What are we talking about? Oh, you guys are talking about something else. Okay, that's cool. Excellent. I like that. You guys talk. Okay, so now that did move the CG back a little, of course. But it's still right. My fingers are right on the nubs. They're just flattened out a little bit more. So I got a little bit. It's a little bit rear of where it was, but almost exactly on the specified CG by Josh Bixler. And it might go a little less if I get all the glue stringies off. Okay. So the next step will be, oh dear, are we off again? Let's switch it to manual mode and make sure that they go back into
Manual mode.
Oh, look at that. They're not right anymore? What the hell? This one keeps drifting. Is there something? Is it slipping? All right, we got to fix it again. This is not in the right spot. Oh, it is slipping. Oh my God. Look at that. Oh shit. Here's what we're going to do. I have to do some prep here. Let's get this off. And we're going to sand this. Let's do it. There we go. We're going to sand, put a little scrubby on there. First, let's clean it off. Maybe it's greasy. And then we'll rough it up a little with some sandpaper, I think. Because we can't be having that. Let's get all the oils off of it.
14 minutes.
Oh dear, 14 minutes. Let's turn the plane off. I like the hatch. I like it.
Telemetry lost.
From what I understand, they made it nose heavy to begin with. Better than that than a bad servo flight controller, yeah. Right. I have a bad flight controller though, apparently, because I can't get it to do the servo pass-through, which is why the dream of my plane, the whole reason I built it was to have the 3-camera switcher. It also has iNav radar, which I haven't tested yet. Oh, I didn't even ever test it. I set it up. It's connected. But the screen is buried in there, so I can't look at what the screen says. Okay, now we've cleaned it off. And it did have some oil on it. I'm going to clean it off one more time, and then I'm going to get some, like, 80 grit sandpaper or something, I think. I think the problem must be that the diameter of this is a little too large for this, whatever those things are called. Okay, be right back. Let's get some sandpaper in the sandpaper drawer, which is hidden back here. Okay. Maybe I should just get a whole drawer, because I've kind of buried the drawer recently by mistake. Okay. That's 220. Let's do something a little rougher. This is like 100. Okay, I'm just going to tear a little piece off of this 100 grit sandpaper here. I'm going to kind of roughen it up. Does this make sense? Am I doing something stupid? Vance. Better. I usually put a drop of green Loctite on the bar. Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Then when I tighten it, I hold it with pliers while I tighten it with the Allen key. Okay, well, I don't have any green Loctite. I have blue Loctite. That's all I have. So we're going to go with this for now, but that is a brilliant idea. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to wipe off the wing a little. Okay. Now we're going to put it back in there. Okay. It feels less slippery. Let's hope. Okay, are we in manual mode? We don't have the battery in. Duh. Radio's off. Duh.
Welcome to OpenTX.
That'll work.
Throttle
Thanks,
warning.
Vance. Blue Loctite is just thicker. Okay.
Switch warning. Manual mode. Why? Thank
Okay,
you.
manual
Lights
mode.
on.
Oh, no battery. Let's put the battery in. Let's not drop the battery. Vance, are you up there in Canada too? That feels a lot stickier. I think we're in manual. Yeah, we are in manual mode. Oh, I wish I wouldn't have done this the wrong way. Dodo brain. Okay, where are we? I think we're in the right spot. If this keeps slipping, I'm going to try that blue Loctite. I might try it anyway. I just want to see. I want to go in stages. I want to see. I'm learning. This plane has definitely been a learning experience. I'm going to chalk it up to that. It probably won't fly even. It's probably too heavy. I've done all this and the plane is too heavy. It's got a lot of power though. It should be okay, but I don't know. The people, or at least one person on RC group said it has to be, I don't need to deal with that. Let's just do that. It has to be built light. Okay, are you slipping? Come on. It's going through terrible ordeal. Windy conditions. Slippage. Oh, it slipped. Look at that. It slipped. Is that one slipping too? Scheisse. I might have to do different control arms. These might be too thick. No, that one's not slipping. No, it slipped a little. This one definitely slipping. Okay, blue Loctite. Blue Loctite. Okay, we're back to center. Let's look at the channel monitor. Yep. 1500. Okay. Holy smokes. Canadian connection, yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. Well, I like Canada. Seems like a nice country to live in. Less crazy people than around here. Less crazy people. See, I'm not a big people fan, like, and Canada has got so much, like, spaces, wide open spaces. Okay, there. Let's see where it's going to go, or we're going to put the drop a Loctite. Thank you, Vance, for this suggestion. So we got North 49 RC. We have Vance, and we have Robert, all from Canada. And I think somebody else was here too. Another one of your friends, Robert. You probably just tell people to come to this. You're probably like my number one. Okay, so we're going to scooch that in there like that. Is that how you want me to do it? I'm kind of rubbing it around in there. I'm going to tighten it. Let's see if this works. We'll do this on the other side too. Let's make sure we got it in the right spot. Of course, I might have to give it mechanical trim and do this all over again, but tightening it down as best I can. See, this rod is probably just a little bit too thick. It's probably 2 millimeters, and I think the hole in there is 2.1 millimeters. And it would probably be better if we had like a 1.8 or 9 millimeter. Sorry, I'm missing all the... Oh yeah, we had several days over 100 this year. We had way over 100. I'm sorry you guys are getting that kind of heat because you don't, that's not good. Lefty loosey. Let's loosen this one up. Don't need to loosen it by much, but let's get it sanded too. We're going to follow the same procedure. And then we're going to almost be done because I'm going actually out to fly this thing at 3 minutes. I'm not going to make it at 3 minutes. Just roughing it up a little. Guess I didn't clean it with alcohol. I'm not following the exact same procedure. Now I'll clean it with alcohol. I should have done that too with the other one. Sanded it, then cleaned it, then sanded it, then cleaned it again. Okay, now we'll do the solution provided by Vance, which is to put some Loctite on there. Put some Loctite on there. Which camera view do we have? I don't know. That one. So we'll put some drop right there. And then we'll squish it around. Get it in there. Get this lined properly. Gosh, I wish I had done this right. Tighten it down. Oh, I'm a little low. Let's come up. Okay. Torque it down. Torque this one down. the right spot. That one's a little... Shit, that's a little low. How did I screw that up? There. 1 millimeter could change everything on a little tiny plane like this, so gotta be careful. So after this, the last thing we're gonna do is program in, check all the modes, and program in the auto tune mode. And I'm really gonna try to tune this plane, assuming it actually flies, which I'm still not sure about that. I mean, if it has enough, I'm sure it'll sort of fly, but if it has enough power. Okay, let's look at our reflex. 1 thickness of foam up. Fast movements on the high winds, crashing. Oh dear, is it slipping? Is it slipping? Is it slipping? Oh, it slipped. It slipped on this side. What is the deal? How am I gonna fix that? It's slipping. Shit. It's not slipping on the left wing, but it's slipping on the right. Just let the Loctite dry for longer, I guess, huh? Hold the little metal part with pliers, then the push rod goes through, and you can crank the Allen key. I feel like I have been cranking it. Well, we are going to loosen it up and put it back. This is why we do these pre-flight checks. This is very important, especially before a maiden. Okay. Hold with the pliers. You're saying like, hold this with the pliers. I got it in the right spot, at least close enough. It moved a little bit. God damn it. Here, what I need to do is stick like a piece of paper in there or something. There we go. Right like that. Okay. Holding the rod with the pliers. Cranking down with the little tiny, freaking tiny little Allen key. Cranking down. It's about as cranking down as I can crank. I'll do the same thing over here. Hold it with the pliers. Righty, lefty. Oh, that was loosey. Lefty loosey. I want righty tighty. Okay. I have cranking down on that little Allen key. I wish I had done this. I might just pull these out and reverse them and do them right way. I just might. Or put different control horns in, ones that I didn't 3D print. Okay, let's test it. Didn't slip. Oh, it slipped. No, it didn't. Well, I think it's staying. We're just going to leave it like that. I think it's good. I think your suggestion helped once again. Thank you. building a quad. I got a quad project on one of these piles. 10-inch quad and 5-inch quad. The iFlight XL10. That's what frame I've got in that box over there. I've got some motors and stuff too. Okay, that's enough of this. Now, the last thing we need to do is let the VTX cool off a little bit. Is get the that wire out so I can make sure I can plug in my thumb. Oh, we need to weigh it. CG. Now we need to do the weight. We'll put a little stand up here. 0 grams. And the dry weight, oh shoot. So without battery, any guesses? Any guesses? Any guesses? Astronomical star 00 grams. Yeah, that's about right. 906 grams. 906 without battery. And that is, and oh, what about the RunCam thumb? And with the RunCam thumb on it, 916. 916. And then if we put the battery on, oh my God. 1,130 grams. 1.13 kilograms. 1.13 kilograms. So, didn't quite make it to 3 pounds. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Okay, so basically all we have to do is check the modes and fix the, let me write that down too. I need to write all these figures down. Sorry, it's part of my spec sheet thing. Where did the spec sheet go? Where did the pen go? Where did the spec sheet go? Oh, the spec sheet's buried in there. Crap. Okay, got this. Got, where is my pad of paper? Sorry, I am very unorganized at this moment because my pads of paper are gone because I straightened up everything. So I'm just going to take this from a work pad. Sorry, my work office is right there too. Okay, Flerken 01. It was 900 and, well, its full weight is with a RunCam thumb. All up weight is 1130. Then without the dry weight with thumb is 915, and the dry weight without the thumb, it's probably 916 once I put on the ND filter, and then 906 dry. Okay, we've got that information cataloged. Now all we have to do is fix the modes and we're done. We are ready to fly this bird. We are ready to fly this bird. Can you believe it? It's going to take me a minute here. I was thinking of trying to live stream from the field to make a complete fool of myself. But we'll see. I don't know if my phone will work for that or not. Okay, glasses on. This got to go back in its little bag. Wingspan. See dots on bottom of wings. Weight without battery, 1 pound. Control throws, 16 degrees. I got a little bit more controlled throws than that. The CG is at that point. That is the 57 millimeter point right there and right there. 57 millimeters from there is what they're talking about. What else did you say? Wingspan 36 inches. Let's check that. I think that's about right. Yeah. Wingspan is 36 inches plus 36 and a half with the lights. Yep, CG is good. So the plane is overweight with the battery. You're saying 1 pound. This is 2 pounds. This is basically 2.5 pounds with the battery. You have 22 planes and quads on analog. Vance is a digital guy, maybe. I'm analog. I'm gonna stay analog for a while now. It's still gonna be a while. Okay, modes. Let's get together. Let's get it together. I've already been going 1 hour. This was gonna be a half-hour long stream. I was gonna do this in half an hour. Typical. Typical of me. Okay, let's do the connection. Test out our little system here. Open the hatch. And we don't even have to unvelcro it. We'll just stick it like that. Look at how cool that is. Sometimes I do something smart. Not very often, but sometimes. Okay, here we're connected. Let's go to the laptop, folks. Laptop, control room. Control room, please go to laptop. Thank you. Now, what we need to do is look at our modes. Let's turn on the radio. We should have our receiver is powered by the USB port conveniently.
Manual mode. Why? Thank you.
So we can test all the modes. The arming mode, that should turn blue, and it did turn blue. And then if you continue, if you continue the arming mode, it goes to RTH. So where's the RTH? Past it. Auto tune I already have set up, so let's figure that one out. We're going to change that channel. Nav RTH. So this is now armed. Then Nav RTH would be there, and that is good. Okay, so now let's get out of manual mode. We should be in manual mode. Manual mode. This is horizon mode. Then this is loiter mode, right, because that switches loiter, and then this switch overrides that. So then we're going to go to cruise mode. Then we're going to go to acro mode, which should light up the blue little square at the bottom left.
Acro mode.
It does.
Cruise mode.
And then now let's deal with the auto tune. So what I want auto tune is to do. Let's look at the OSD. I want to see which OSD is which here. There's an auto tune OSD that I have. Not that one. That one. So I want auto tune to line up with this OSD. And I need to move the, let's see if we can move, no, that's selecting the wrong thing. Let's move that up so I can move the reticle. Oh, I can't move the reticle. You got to turn that off. Okay, I'm going to turn off the reticle when we're on there. Where is that? Crosshairs. Okay, save. So that's Alt 2. So now we're going back to modes. And let's see where our Alt 2 OSD is. OSD Alt 2.
Situation normal. All fucked up.
That's channel 8.
Situation normal. All fucked up. Why? Thank you.
There it
Lights
is.
off. Lights on.
So channel,
Lights off.
that switch is channel 8. So what we need to do is go down here. We would put us in acro mode. And we're going to go to auto tune. We're going to say channel 8. And we're going to scooch it.
Lights on. Lights off.
And we'll turn the lights off. Who cares? Auto tune. Save. Okay.
Lights on.
That should do it. Auto tune and auto trim on the same switch. So can you tell me a little bit about auto trim? Like, does that... I had a problem with my friend Kevin's here. I'm going to switch cameras again. So, okay, let me just talk for a minute. We're basically done. We've checked all the modes. The only thing we haven't done is really go outside and make sure that the GPS gets a signal lock and see if we can actually arm it. I just want to verify that I turned auto launch on. So I did install iNav 5 really quickly, off 5.1 off stream, and did all the configuration and copied all the things from the there, permanently enable launch mode. Save and reboot. Let's just make sure. I did do all that stuff. I did 5.1 and I went back and I copied all the stuff from the CLI and I got all the things. Did all the things. Are the last? No, so they're in the middle. I'm looking at the LED screen, sorry. I'm looking at the LED screen trying to figure out why the ring light doesn't work. But maybe if I took number 4, let's just test if it will work. Maybe because they're dark? Ring. Can I make it red? Let's do that. Ring. Let's make some of them red. Every other one red. I just want to test this. I'm sorry. I just would be bummed if that whole ring light doesn't work at all. Save. Now, let's plug in the battery real quick and just see if the ring lights are lighting up at all. One last check. One last check. We've already gone way over time. Scooching over here. The lights on the end are still working. Let's see what we got underneath here. Oh yeah, they're lit up. Woo-hoo-hoo! The ring light does work. Thank you. Auto tune and auto trim on the same switch. I think that's a great idea, but what I want to do is understand more about auto trim and also the continuously trim servos setting in the main configuration. I want to understand more about that too. But anyway, okay, we're going to disconnect. I feel relatively good about this, even though I think the chances are the plane won't even fly because it's too damn heavy. I like the design. I like the looks of it. I will make another one. I'm working on, I've already got it laid out in the other room, a larger wing. So basically the idea behind that is that the dimension here and the dimension here will be exactly the same, and then I'm just spreading it out by about 200 millimeters. And just, it's going to be exactly the same fuselage design and everything. and the wing is relatively easy to redraw bigger, and I'm actually doing it by hand on the table in the air. So anyway, we'll try that. We'll see how this one flies first, because I have a whole bin of parts and a whole bunch of parts cut out with the second bits there, with the second set of everything, except I don't have a motor ESC. I have flight controller, GPS, FPV system, servos. I just don't have GPS. I just don't have the power system. Okay, so I'm feeling fairly good. I'm going to go out to the field and fly this sucker. It's a nice day out. It's low winds, high heat, but that's the way it is here. This is the world we live in nowadays. And Robert and Vance, if you're still there, and whoever else is here, I appreciate you guys watching and joining. And I tried to do as much of this on stream as possible. I'm trying to do some editing and compile this into something that's actually meaningful instead of 75 million hours of watching grass grow. And so just a little bit more, it has just a little bit more wing than normal. It will fly. Recorded regardless of outcome. I will record the launch and I will report on it regardless of outcome. And in the future Wednesday workshop we have back there, we will bring out another failure, and we are going to resurrect that plane. That's on a future one, maybe this coming week, or maybe the week after that. We'll see. Because I still got to do the aero combat wings, which are piled right over there. Oh my God, so many things. So we're going to take this out to the field that doesn't have the giant crater for me to crash in and lake. It's this. I'm going to take it to the park and not my flying field, because I'm too afraid to fly it at my flying field because there's too many dangerous places to crash it. So that's it. That's all we got. We're going to go. I got to press the right buttons here and do the number 6, and then say that I really thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Definitely Wednesday.